South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and billionaire businessman Patrice Motsepe are facing increasing demands for their arrest on charges of a crime against humanity, a scenario that has sparked intense discussion and indignation. The nation's political and commercial circles have been rocked by this extraordinary claim, which has put two of its most powerful people under close investigation. Please support this channel by hitting on the subscribe button. Do not forget to turn on the notification bell. The charges against Ramaphosa and Motsepe revolve on allegations of systematic exploitation, environmental degradation, and policies or practices that critics contend have made inequality and poverty in South Africa worse, but specifics are yet unclear. Many have called their acts or inactions a breach of the public trust, and the accusations have caused a nationwide outrage. A strong critic said, "This is about actions that have irreparably damaged the lives of millions of people, not just about bad leadership or corporate greed." Motsepe, a mining mogul and one of Africa's richest people, is charged with using commercial methods that have exacerbated economic inequality. In a similar vein, Ramaphosa, who came to office on a promise of economic reform and anti-corruption, is being held accountable for choices and policies that detractors say have prolonged South Africa's socioeconomic problems. Public outrage, a voice for the nation. Social media is in a frenzy at the news, with hashtags like Justice for South Africa and Arrest Motsepe and Ramaphosa trending all across the country. As a focal point for more extensive systemic change, South Africans are becoming more and more irate about unemployment, inequality, and corruption. People are worn out. Those in positions of authority have repeatedly let us down. One user posted, "This time we demand justice." Civil society organizations have already begun organizing large-scale protests to put pressure on the government to act. For many, this case represents the widening gap between the impoverished people and South Africa's elite. The alliance at issue, influence and power. Despite working in diverse fields, Ramaphosa and Motsepe are two of South Africa's most influential people. Their intimate relationships have long been the focus of conjecture, with some arguing that they are a prime example of the nation's troubled political business nexus. A political observer said, "These two men's wealth and influence highlight the challenges of unchecked power." This is about more than two people. It's about the systemic problems that permit such power to remain unchecked, political and legal ramifications. The political environment is in chaos as a result of the charges. Calls for accountability are expected to have an impact on the position of the governing African National Congress, ANC, party as elections approach. As the story develops, political observers believe Ramaphosa's leadership may encounter serious difficulties. However, legal professionals warn that there may be many challenges on the path to justice. According to a legal expert, it is difficult to hold people with such enormous power accountable. However, even the strongest opposition may be overcome by public pressure, green issues, and corporate responsibility. Motsepe's participation in businesses that have been blamed for environmental damage has rekindled discussions in South Africa on corporate responsibility. Despite being vital to the economy, activists contend that the mining industry has wreaked havoc in areas that are already at risk and that not enough has been done to lessen its effects. A pivotal moment for South Africa. Calls for justice and transparency are becoming more and more strident as the country awaits an official answer from Ramaphosa and Motsepe. Will the scandal be just another episode in South Africa's lengthy history of corruption and injustice? Or will the country's leadership be able to handle the situation? This lawsuit could end up being a turning point for South Africa's future, as well as for Ramaphosa and Motsepe. Whether the country's institutions can withstand its most powerful individuals or whether justice will once again be elusive will be made clear in the next weeks. This developing drama is more than just a controversy. It is a test of South Africa's dedication to its democratic values in a nation where many believe the promises of equality and freedom have not yet been realized. Once more, few would have predicted the warm and enthusiastic reception that President Cyril Ramaphosa and former President Jacob Zuma received when they landed in Namibia this week. The two tall and often polarizing figures from South African politics were on stage for the historic inauguration of Namibia's first female president, Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, in Windhoek. The long-standing political hostility between Zuma and Cyril Ramaphosa had no effect on the Namibian.